Hello, I'm Melanie Christopher, and welcome to WJTV's Remarkable Women Broadcast Special. We're coming to you from the Mississippi Museum of Art in Jackson, where you can find a collection of thousands of pieces of art.
They got nothing on you. They got nothing on you.
WJTV is proud to be a part of Nexstar's nationwide initiative in celebration of Women's History Month. With more than 160 online entries from our viewers, our local contest was a record-breaking success.
They got nothing on you. They got nothing on you.
4 finalists were selected by our group of impartial judges who voted on criteria that included but was not limited to community impact, self-achievement, and the entrepreneurial spirit. Let's take a look at our 2023 4 finalists.
They are Mrs. Jonetta Jordan, Mary Kitchens, Rachel Mays, and Dr. Toy Watts.
And for this year, we are proud to celebrate Mary Kitchens as our 2023 Remarkable Women Contest winner. Unfortunately, she could not join us today at the museum, but her story is truly remarkable. Coming soon, Camp Kamasa. When completed, the 400-plus acres in Copiah County will be home to Mississippi's only fully handicap-accessible year-round camp for children and adults with serious illnesses, physical, mental, and emotional challenges, and other special needs. Kamasa is a Choctaw word meaning tough to persevere under difficulties and not give up.
And that describes our campers. And so we love that word.
The dynamo behind this $27 million project is Mary Kitchens, whose passion began after one of her children was diagnosed with cancer, survived, and was later able to attend the state's first Camp Rainbow, specifically for children with cancer. Years later, in 2009, she would form the Mississippi Tough Kids Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit, and begin raising money and awareness by selling cookbooks from the trunk of her car at area flea markets and festivals.
We would go every Saturday somewhere, sell cookbooks, and give out literature and tell people about what we were doing.
By January of 2013, the land was purchased, hundreds of acres of pure forest. To clear the land and begin the building, Mary Kitchens would need the Air Force, Army, Marines, and Navy, and she got them. It took a trip to Washington, but it was worth it. The Department of Defense said it was the perfect project for their innovative readiness training program.
It allows us to get out in our communities and train our airmen and our young troops in their career fields, which are trades and crafts like plumbers and electricians.
Fast forward to January 2018 when the work started, and it hasn't ended. Thousands of soldiers have come throughout the years and continue to do so, with the Department of Defense picking up the bill for labor as well as the rental costs of the huge machinery needed to complete the camp. The Mississippi Toughest Kids Foundation pays for all the building supplies. Mary makes sure the soldiers know who they are doing this for.
We have children right in this area with muscular dystrophy, children that are blind, children that are mentally challenged, and they've met them. They come see them while they're here, and that just is really meaningful to them.
She's 7 years old. Her name is Miss Allie, and yeah, I'm pretty fond of her. I met her a couple of months ago while I was down here. She is blind and slightly autistic, and just a beautiful, beautiful child who's really touched my heart.
The Southern hospitality comes free of charge.
And every Thursday night, either a church or a club or even just a family has all the military that are here for supper. They get a home-cooked Southern meal once a week while they're in Mississippi.
Camp Kamasa is on target to have their first campers in 2024 and will serve generations to come. As this year's winner, Mary joined the other remarkable winners in Los Angeles for an experience that she will cherish.
I am extremely excited to be here, and one of the main reasons is because it draws attention to my cause of building a camp for children with special needs, Camp Kamasa.
Again, congratulations to Mary on being our 2023 Remarkable Woman. There are 3 other women who wear the crown of being a Remarkable Women Contest winner here in Mississippi. Welcome back. In 2020, when we launched our Remarkable Women campaign, little did we know how popular it would become. Let's take a look at our very first winner, Angela Harper. In midlife, Angela Harper became a cop.
I was 40 then when I graduated.
And what did they call you?
Granny. Granny was my nickname because I was the oldest female, probably one next to the oldest person out of, I think, like 32, maybe 37.
Granny not only graduated the academy, she was named the top cadet in physical fitness. Her son followed in her footsteps.
Then my son came along, and since I had done all that before, his nickname was Mama's Boy. So he had to live up to that name because of me.
Let's hit the reverse button now and go back to a very young Angela, a determined single mom.
Out of all the things, I drove school bus, I worked in Sears, I did it all. And then while driving school bus, I actually went to phlebotomy school and graduated from that and became a phlebotomist for 17 years.
After 7 years of patrolling the streets of Jackson, Angela has now brought her positive attitude coupled with a tireless work ethic and a desire to help people be the best they can to the Mississippi Department of Corrections.
I love what I do. I love it. I love all the trainings that MDOC have allowed me to take to continue to help these inmates along the way.
Angela is a drug counselor, a transitional housing officer, and she teaches a 12 to 16-week cognitive behavioral program.
And the class consists of 24 different lessons, negotiating, behavior problems, anger management, just how to deal with life, entering back out into the real world and building a rapport back with their families. So we teach them how to do that.
And when they complete the program,
we have graduations. A lot of these guys never graduated from high school or, college or whatever, and they get an opportunity to walk across the stage and get a diploma. We make sure that that's very important to them because it makes them realize that they have completed and accomplished something.
Completion is important to Angela Harper, whether it be learning to drive a school bus, successfully hitting a vein and taking blood, or marksmanship on the shooting range. The Mississippi Department of Corrections top cop continues to go the distance and has no plans of stopping. Joining me now is Angela Harper. Angela, thank you for being with us. You were our first.
Yes.
How did it change you, or did it change you? How did it help you?
It did. It changed me a lot. I got to meet other women, and we have bright ideas now from each other. So it's been remarkable, if I can say that, for the 1,000th time.
Yes, you can. You made a lot of contacts. How has this helped you with what you're doing now? And tell us what you're doing now with your position.
Well, I work with the Hinds County Reentry Program, and that's awesome. We have graduations in the past. We've had many of those. Yes. Thank you. And we're working hard to make sure that people that are getting out of prison have something to look forward to.
And this is really giving them some job training too?
Yes, it is.
So they get out and they will be able to work?
They'll be able to work and have a career job.
And that's,
that's what we look forward to.
So important.
It's very important.
And you did get to do a little travel. You went to New York.
I did. Got a chance to go to New York.
You were during COVID.
Yeah,
you were during the COVID
it was a little
period.
shut down, but we had an awesome time. We had a great time.
All right. Well, you're our very first remarkable woman, and you're very remarkable.
I'm enjoying
so
it.
Thank you. Welcome back to our Remarkable Women special, coming to you from a remarkable place in its own right, the Galleries of New Symphony of Time here at the Mississippi Museum of Art. Last year, Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves signed into law Senate Bill 2795. The law opens up more opportunities for inmates to receive parole. Pauline Rogers is a parole advocate with many years of experience who says a lot more needs to be done. Pauline Rogers has dedicated the last 35 plus years of her life successfully transitioning incarcerated women. Her REACH Foundation has provided housing and reintegration services and is the longest reentry service provider in Mississippi. And in all those years, not one person has ever gone back to prison. Rogers says the current parole system is flawed. She gives the example of an 82-year-old inmate who was denied parole by the current board.
This parole board told her to come back and see us when you're 85. She's done 33 years. She's 82. Impeccable record. Done everything that's required. And you got to come back at 85. So it's something else going on here.
Rogers calls it a crisis situation.
You give a person an opportunity to redeem themselves, to prove that they're better, to prove that they can be trusted. And we're not doing that with the incarcerated population.
Here's what she says about the current law.
I'm very disappointed in Senate Bill 2795 not doing what they said it would do.
She would like the bill to be retroactive back to the 70s through to at least 1995. Here's why.
Because people that have served long sentences are just sitting there and not getting any consideration because they don't fit in any category with the new laws that are coming on the bill. You got people that have been there, some almost 5 decades, who have done everything that they can do to rehabilitate.
Pauline Rogers will continue to go to bat for those she knows can be helped and can succeed. She knows because she was once one of them herself.
And joining me now is Pauline Rogers. Pauline, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
What has it meant to you to be a remarkable woman?
Well, I've gotten to run into so many other remarkable people here in the state. We've gotten exposure from remarkable people here in the state and out of the state. So it's been good. We've gotten exposure about the criminal legal system here in our state.
What are you working on now? Is it this parole bill?
Parole bill. We need, not only am I working on the current parole bill, we need to go back and retroactivate parole laws from the 70s, 80s, and the 90s that people that caught in the 70s to the 90s are still sitting in prison, some of them over 4 decades, without being able to be granted parole because it hasn't been retroactivated.
And now with this bill, it's supposed to happen quicker, but it's not really working.
It's not happening. People are not getting out. We have a lady that's in her 80s and was told by the parole board to come back and see us when you're 85. She's already done 32 years, no rule violation reports.
So impeccable record.
Impeccable record, and still can't get out. And it's happening to others who have done over 3 decades.
But you are remarkable in the work that you have done with having housing for women who need a place to come after they're released and helping them get back into the workforce and all that. It's so much of what is needed.
Absolutely.
So we thank you so much for all your work.
They got nothing on me.
We now turn our attention to our 2022 winner, Janelle Edwards, who is making Fayette the unofficial pecan capital of Mississippi.
Fayette, Mississippi, county seat of Jefferson County. Population 1,388. 49% of the folks here live below the poverty level. Janelle Edwards moved here sight unseen in 2006 from her hometown of Savannah, Georgia. Her first impression?
Oh,
Coming from Savannah, Georgia.
yes. Coming from Savannah, Georgia, I will use the words of a show I used to watch with Lisa Bonet. It was called It's a Different World Than Where You Come From.
But instead of focusing on what the city lacked, she embraced what it had. For over a dozen years, Janelle has been the driving force behind the nonprofit Fayette Community Service Organization. COVID put a stop to the many programs, so Janelle turned her focus on helping the community economically. In Fayette, just about every yard has a native pecan tree. Janelle and her husband have a dozen on their property, and like a lot of folks, every fall they would pick pecans and sell them to a pecan vendor in Natchez, a 60-mile round-trip drive.
My husband saw, everybody has a pecan tree in their yard. Why are we taking our pecans to Natchez, 60 miles? You know, we can capitalize upon that here.
The Edwards soon began buying pecans from neighbors, adults and children, giving folks an opportunity to make a little money.
We had one gentleman that said, this is going to be the first year that I can get Christmas gifts for all of my children.
Soon the idea of a community orchard bloomed.
A lot of the trees here are native, so the Mississippi State Extension Service was very helpful in coming out. They actually came here and did a conference to share with community members how to care for their trees during the year so that they could get the most potential yield during pecan season.
Janelle Edwards might live in a small town, but she thinks big. A pecan manufacturing company is now in the works.
And from here, Jefferson County pecans will go all over the world in shell, cracked, glazed, praline candy, and all of that. And in this rural community, we can start to generate economic sustainability right here off of what we call our community orchard.
And that's not all that's happening on this plot of land.
By USDA standards, we're considered a food desert. We have to travel to the super Walmart or the markets are in Natchez, and that's 27 miles one way. So you're talking about almost 60 miles to get fresh fruits and vegetables. So that's the reason why we're establishing the farmers market here.
And no doubt, Janelle would say this isn't the end of the story.
Here with me now is Janelle Edwards. Janelle, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
You looked around Fayette and said, we need some kind of industry. We need some business here. What do we have?
We have, in my Savannah vernacular, we can pecan. It does not, when I moved to Mississippi, I found out it was pecans, but we can't, pecan doesn't go together.
But there were native pecan trees in Fayette,
Yes,
and you capitalized on that. What has that, being named Remarkable Woman of the Year of 2022, how did that help you? You met the governor.
I met the governor, yes. My husband, actually, Anthony Edwards, he looked around and he said, you know, we don't have enough money to have a pecan orchard to put that together. But if you look at every property, almost every property in Fayette, there is a pecan tree. So he coined the phrase community orchard. And that's what we started. And we have been able to impact our community, at least seasonally, through economic sustainability by keeping those pecans and buying the pecans there and then selling them online.
And yes, you're doing all kinds of things with the pecans. I've tasted them. They're absolutely delicious.
Well, thank you. And you can order some.
I said I need to get them for Christmas gifts. They are wonderful. So that is available to do now. What is your next thing? What is your next project?
Well, our mission at Fayette Community Service Organization, which is an award-winning grassroots organization that I'm the executive director of, our mission is to foster health and wealth among young men and women through service and guidance. So on that side, with the pecans, we're working on the wealth angle. But there's also the health angle, because if you're healthy and you don't have any money, you still sick. So we have created an event that will eradicate childhood obesity. It is called the Fat to Fit Olympic Games. And I'm so excited that we will be bringing it back after COVID. It has run for 9 consecutive years, but we'll be bringing it back to Jackson, Mississippi at Tougaloo College this year.
Wonderful. Well, we look forward to hearing more about that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, ladies, this was fun, and I'm glad we could all get together. We hope our viewers were inspired by what these remarkable women are doing across our state. And we know that there are many remarkable women here in Mississippi. Choosing our 4 finalists was not an easy task because there are so many women out in our communities, strengthening, inspiring, making a difference. And when the contest returns later this year, we hope you take the time to nominate someone you believe is deserving to be called a remarkable woman. I also want to thank the Mississippi Museum of Art for hosting us. A special thanks to Jana Brady and Latrice Lawson for their assistance. And I hope you plan a visit here to the museum soon. Now, for our entire production team and these remarkable women, I'm Melanie Christopher. Have a good evening.